All right, good morning, guys. It is Saturday morning, and it's actually the weather said it was going to be thunderstorms today, but right now it's just cloudy. And so what I'm going to do is work some more on the window inserts, and I only have a couple hours this morning, and then I got to go do a teaching training later today in the around lunchtime, and I'm actually going to be teaching some new missionaries how to produce video, and really encouraging them to start vlogging their lives and uploading it on YouTube. So I'll actually probably be filming some of that as well. It'll probably be in a different video though. Then when I come back, I might have time to finish more of the window inserts. So yeah, so let's get started. All right, the other day when I made some of these window inserts, it was actually my first time making them by using the outline of the trim piece. I'll just kind of show you a little bit here what I'm talking about. And you can see here we have one of the trim pieces for the doors, for the van door. And what I did when I made this one is I actually used a marker and I outlined the interior of the trim piece. And while it fits nicely, it's still got a little bit of gap on the sides. And so the other one that I did seems to work better, and that's by measuring or actually marking the outside edge of the trim piece. So not doing it in here and marking, but marking out on the outer edge, and that seems to give a snugger fit. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to remake this one, and hopefully it'll be a better fit. So yeah, let's do it. Okay, I'm going to repeat some stuff that I actually said in my last video, but just in case you haven't seen the last video, just kind of go over some things here again. If you've used Reflectix on your windows, I've tried that here in Florida, and the sun is so hot that it actually just turns that Reflectix into a radiator, I guess you could say that, or a convection oven. Turns the van into a convection oven because the sun hits that Reflectix. Some of the light and heat bounces back away from the van, but some of it is heating up the Reflectix. And then on the back side, on the interior side of the Reflectix, it's just like you can feel the heat. So what we're doing is we're going to be using a Reflectix type of material. This is just emergency blanket type of foil. We're going to use some XPS extruded foam that you get at Home Depot, and then we're going to use some canvas. This canvas is from Home Depot as well. It's just painter's canvas, and we washed it first to soften it up and to shrink it up a little bit. And then also Glidden gripper, and this paint is actually really good, and it adheres very well, and it also, the added benefit, it doesn't eat through the foam, which other paints can. So what we did is so far cut out the piece of foam, and I just want to actually make sure that it's good. It might be a little tight. We might need to trim up just a little bit because the canvas is actually going to be wrapping around it as well, giving it a little extra width. So yeah, let me see here. I'm kind of thinking maybe I'll just try to leave it, and when I push it in there, it'll compress the foam just a little bit. So I think I'm gonna leave it. Okay. All right, so that fits nicely. And again, what we also want to do is we want to make sure that we foil the right side and canvas the correct side. So the foil side actually needs to be on this side and the canvas on the non-printed. So first we're going to do the foil, and what we're going to do is put some Glidden gripper on here. Yep, try not to make a mess. All right, and then we're going to attach the foil. And we're actually going to use a little roller, actually a kitchen roller, a cooking roller, flour roller, I guess you'd call it, and get this foil as nice looking as possible. Eliminate any air bubbles and lines. It doesn't have to be perfect, but alright, now we're going to flip it over. And the easiest way I found to trim this foil is to basically just use a knife. Scissors take a long time and it doesn't do a really good job. I'm just going to use a knife, and we're going to cut, leave enough to overlap. So just going to cut around the perimeter, just kind of eyeballing it. Go. All right. Again, I got this foil on Amazon. It's very inexpensive. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're actually going to paint this side and pull the foil over. But one of the things I want to do is I want to try to eliminate as much as possible some of the bunching up that's going to happen. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to I don't know. As long as this doesn't have a whole lot of bunching, I guess we're okay. Let's just do this. We'll just do some of the sides here. Oops. Okay, and now we're just going to fold these over and get a seal on here, trying not to get paint on our fingers. I think it's actually impossible not to get paint on your fingers. Okay. Alright, and then what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to just kind of trim some of these edges off here. Okay, and I apologize. Sometimes I think I'm too much of a perfectionist, so I'm probably doing steps that really aren't totally necessary. Okay, next step is we want to put canvas down on top of this, and unfortunately what I should have done is I should have measured out, eyeballed the canvas while it wasn't glued. So we'll just kind of have to do a little guesstimate. And I don't want any paint on the canvas. Okay, and I'm going to actually save this hemmed edge for, and I'll show you in a little bit why I'm going to save that. I'll tell you, I'm actually just going to make little pulls on these window inserts. That way it's easy to pull the insert out of the window. We'll save that for later. Okay, so we got the canvas cut. All right, now let's trim this edge up a little bit here. Okay, so now we know it's actually going to go like this, but we need to paint it. Lid and gripper. Okay, so here is our finished window insert. Pretty solid. Really nice. Foil on one side. And then it just pushes in like that. Now, seems to be tighter. And what you want is a good seal around the edges. That way no heat enters or escapes. Okay, and you can actually see the backside. What I want to do now, and this is something I've never done, is I want to actually make little pulls that will allow us to pull the window insert out to make it easier to pull it out. So I'm actually just going to cut this. And that's these little thumbtacks. So go like this. Give it room to come around the edge. Like that. So when you pop it in, it should be easy just to pull it out. Alright, so let's go attach it to the van. We'll go to attach it and see how it looks and works. Okay, so let's attach our trim work, and this just clips in like normal. Now, if you're doing these window inserts and you don't have the trim work detached, another way you could do it is actually, and it's the way I did it on my minivan, is I actually use some paper or tin foil and shoved it in here and created a template, and then used that template to cut out the right size foam insert. Alright, so that's in. And test number 2 of foam insert. And that fits in nice and snug. And then to get it out, you just pull like that. Very cool. And again, you can't see it on the outside because of the window tint. So, looks good. Again, if you haven't watched the previous video, explains all the benefits and the reasons why you want to do this, definitely check it out. Okay, so now that I got this one back in, I think I'm gonna have to call it a break for today. Got to get ready for my class, and so maybe when I come back from the class, I'll be able to do some more. Hopefully it's not raining. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys, and hopefully I'll be back for more on this video. Alright, thanks. Alright, hey guys. Well, I am on my way to Globe International, and they're wrapping up a week of what they call candidate school, and it's basically a week-long introduction / orientation of missionary life, and with candidates who are interested in becoming Globe missionaries. And so this is the end of their week, and the end of the week here I'm going to be doing a little bit of a training with them, just kind of talking about the importance of media and how to produce media, some do's and don'ts. I have probably about I think about 2 hours with them, and so I think we're going to be eating lunch together and then doing some training. So it should be pretty fun, pretty relaxed, and I've never done a specific training that's only been this short. Most of our training we put on these missionographer boot camps. They're usually like 4 days of 9 to 5. So we'll try to condense just some of the basics into this 2-hour period with them. So yeah, you guys, thanks for joining, and yeah, sit back and enjoy the video, and just watch how we work with these missionaries, and hope maybe you guys can get something out of it, some of the training as well. So, all right, yeah, thanks for joining us. Hey Danny, how are you?
Good.
Hey, are we meeting at Globe headquarters on Highway 98?
Are you talking about for the Canada School?
Yeah.
That's next Saturday.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that awesome? Thanks, Danny.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you called before you drove all the way over there. Anyway.
Well, no, I was here. I pulled in the parking lot and I'm like, there's nobody here. All right. All right. Thanks.
We'll see you then.
All right, bye.
Bye.
Okay, well, you know what? I am going to attempt to show real life, not just the great things that are going on in my life, but just real life. And so now I can just drive back to the house and work on the van some more, which I don't mind at all. But yeah, I wonder how I got that all confused. I have no idea. Anyways, so there you have it, folks. I'm getting old. My mental faculties are slipping, I guess, maybe. All right. Well, let's head back home and continue working on the van. All right, hey guys, guess what time it is? It is lunch time. And I got my little tray here. Lord, thank you for the food. Thank you for these cheese curls, this sandwich. Thank you for the sun coming out and it not being thunderstorms. Thank you for this van. Thank you for my family. In Jesus' name, amen. Well, I had these plans for what the day was going to be, but not always. Doesn't always turn out the way you think. One of the things that one of the mental, or I should say, one of the things I tell myself when things don't work out the way I thought they were supposed to work out. Like today, I thought I had that training today. Well, that's not a huge letdown, but especially when I have things that happen to me that are big letdowns. One of the things that I tell myself is that God is in control, and that was His plan. And if it's something that happens that I wish, something that happens that I wish wouldn't have happened, or something that didn't happen that I wish would have happened, I just try to tell myself that, you know, it's working out even better for me, whatever happened, you know. So, today I just get to work on the van more. I was watching one of the channels I subscribe to. His name is Weston, and I think his channel's name is Wizard Dream, and great guy, single guy who lives in his van and is traveling. I think he's in California right now. And one of his recent videos, he was talking about this kind of a revelation he had about letting go of the stress of the self-induced stress of realizing that you don't match up to what think your standards are. If you haven't watched his subscribe to his channel, head over there, Weston Wizard Dream, and watch that video. He does a really good job of realizing the freedom that you can have when you let go of those standards that you have for yourself. Generally too high of standards. I hope I'm explaining this in a good way. And I've come to that realization as well, kind of in a more different approach, and that is the realization that, again, like we said before, that God is in control, and that God made me the way I'm supposed to be. You know, we can always change and always improve, but to stress yourself out that you're not doing enough or not being it's more of not doing enough. You know, God created us as human beings, but we turn it into human doings. And He created us so that we, you know, one of His things God said to work, that we would work, and the realization that for as long as humans have been on the earth, we have never run out of work to do, and we never will. So the idea that you could work fast enough to complete everything, you just can't do it. And so just to relax, not to strive, and that's especially important for people who are in ministry, is the striving part. You know, a lot of times we feel that we're doing what God has called us to do, and we need to do it as quick as possible. And so we strive to make that happen, and sometimes what happens is we start striving in our own strength, and we kind of forget God. So just realizing that, you know, striving, and I found that striving in your own strength generally doesn't produce very lasting results. But if you slow down, take time to hear from God, and you have to do it on a daily basis, because here's what would happen with me in the past. I would hear from God. I would feel like God was telling me to do something, go in a certain direction with life or career, and so it would be so amazing how I would hear that from Him, that I would like, this is from God. And so I would be like, okay, I am doing this, and I just put my head down and I just start running in that direction. And what happens is I forgot to continually listen to God. And so He telling me to go in this, you know, this direction, and I'm heading in that direction. And I'm going so fast that I can't even hear when He's telling me to divert, you know, course. And then I'll be way down here and realize I'm working really hard and I'm not hearing from God, and realizing that I haven't spent time to hear Him. And if I'd listened to Him every day, I would have been able to stay on track with where He was wanting to go. So those are some things that I've been learning, continue to learn. I'm really happy with this floor. I know you can't see it a whole lot. You can see a little bit right there, but I'm really happy with it. It looks really good. One of the concerns I had before I installed it was the difference in the temperatures from very cold to, and I haven't experienced the hot summer temperatures yet, but I have experienced some 40-degree weather, and I was concerned about the shrinking of the planks. And they do shrink a little bit, so they're in cold weather there appears to be small gaps between the planks, but not so much so that it looks bad or yeah, so I'm real happy with it. And then in these temps, you know, it's perfect. It looks awesome. You know, speaking about hearing from God, you know, there's different, for me anyways, there's different levels that I hear from God. There's the level of the everyday, you know, when I'm having my devotional time, reading my Bible and praying, I hear from God. When I'm singing and worshiping, I feel His presence. Then there's those times that kind of like out of the blue, God just really speaks to you. And I have had, I don't know how many times I've had that. It's not very often. I remember one time I was actually shooting a television show called All Over the World, which you can check it out. It's at aotw.tv, all over the world, aotw.tv, and you can actually watch. I got about 24 episodes there, and it's a nationally broadcast television show. It's reality/documentary where we follow missionaries. And I was in Nicaragua on one of these shoots, and I was filming a missionary boot camp, and the speaker was talking about, you know, finding God's purpose for your life. And I was filming it, and I remember I was listening to it, and so I started thinking, you know, what's my purpose? And I knew I loved filming, I loved helping missionaries, but I remember telling God, you know, I was like, God, I'd really love to train up other missionographers. And we hadn't really coined that term at that point, but train up other people who are like me, who love to help missionaries and would be a missionary videographer. And I'm like, I'd love to raise up other missionographers. And I'm like, God, what's the first step? And I remember it so clear that I heard, well, maybe you need to become one first. And that just kind of floored me, because, you know, my parents have been missionaries and are missionaries, but it had never occurred to me, never crossed my mind to become a missionary. And yeah, and that's when it was just like, wow. I knew that wasn't a thought that I would have had, but it was just so impressive on me that I was like, that must have come from God, you know. And since then we've been on this calling to produce videos for missionaries and train up other missionographers, and it's been great, you know. It's been ups and downs, and missionary life is different, but it's an incredible life, I would say. And sometimes God, hey, and let me just tell you this, I know some people might not be interested in hearing this type of talk, and that's why I put a countdown on the screen during this time. So if you're not interested in this part, you can always go forward to the actual van building parts. But I feel like it's fun to kind of share my thoughts and heart with people. But so sometimes when God answers my prayers, it's like when I am the most desperate that he does that. And I have this one time, I was actually filming in Kenya, in Africa, at a missionary children's home. And one night, I spent the night, I asked the missionary if I could spend the night in the boys' dorm. And it's just basically a giant room filled with bunk beds. And at that time, I think there was maybe, I don't know, 50 boys in this room. And so they said, yeah. And so they set up a cot for me and a mosquito net. And I remember it was at night, and there wasn't I don't think there was a sink or restroom in the building. There was a shower outside. But I wear contacts, and so I had to take my contacts out. And so I was standing at the foot of my bed, and all these African boys are just gathered around me and just like looking at me and like, what is he doing? Is he taking his eyeballs out? and so I got my contacts out, got ready for bed, and it was a long day. And so I crawled into bed. And earlier that day, I think it was earlier that day, all these boys, somebody had donated these little wind-up radios for them. And so each boy had a wind-up radio, and it was, I looked at my watch, it was getting close to midnight. But it was, you know, it was pitch black in the room. And I was laying there, and almost, it seemed like every radio was on a different station. And I was like, I was praying. I was like, God, please. I'm so tired. It's been a long day of filming, and I gotta get up early and film some more. I'm like, I don't know if you can do anything. Can you please stop those radios? And that is the very second that I finished that sentence, finished that prayer, it went silent. And I was just like, I was basically too tired to be amazed. I was just like, God, thank you. And I just went to sleep. But it was like, thinking back on that, I'm like, wow, that's pretty wild, you know? I can imagine if one boy turned his radio off, but to have all those radios turn off at the same moment, that's just crazy. I told that story one time, and somebody said, I wonder if the radios didn't turn off, but God just closed your hearing. And I'm like, that's a good point. I have no idea. But God's kind of amazing like that. Okay, so one of the things actually I want to do today, as well as the window inserts, is to work on that Max Air fan. I don't know if you remember in some of the previous videos, I was actually making that easily removable and putting a cap on it to allow me to go through some of these automatic car washes without fear of that fan getting ripped off. And so the last time I did that, the fabric cap that I made leaked a little bit, so I'm going to kind of see if I can modify it a little bit more to really seal up that cap. So it's probably going to work on that right now, actually. Well, I don't think this solution is going to work. One of the thoughts I had was to use some of this wire strap and run it around the fabric cap to hold the cap down. See, the problem was that when I went through the car wash, I mean, it's velcroed, but the car wash is so powerful that it was pulling this up and water was getting underneath. So, but this strapping, which I thought would hold it down, is I don't think is going to be an effective solution. And again, the whole goal is to be able to send the van through a car wash. I want to get it where obviously the time to take this cap off is way less than actually having to wash the whole van myself. So if you guys have any thoughts or ideas, I would appreciate it. I think I'm just gonna have to think about it a little bit more. The other thought that I had that would probably work very well and be an easy solution is to actually get a cap, just a cap of some sort. It could be see-through. It could be an actual vent cover that will slide down into this rubber washing area, fit perfectly into that rubber washing area, and then I could drill holes into the cap and screw them directly into those areas. So, and I've looked on eBay and stuff, but haven't found anything that really matches that yet. It is exactly 14 by 14 from one end of the rubber washer to the other end of the rubber washer on both sides. So yeah, so if you know of anything that could do that as well, that might work as well. Thanks. Okay, well, I'm slowly getting these window inserts in, and they're looking pretty good. You can see here, looks nice. And what I want to show you right now is something I need to work on, and that is when we installed the floor, we obviously with the subfloor and the vinyl plank, we obviously raised the actual height of the floor by this much. And so the step that was here originally, you can tell it's raised as well, and so it doesn't go down like it should, or I mean it's too high. And so my thought is, what we're going to do is actually put some of this foam, cut out some more of this foam, and lay it underneath here to level it out and give it the height that it needs to make sure that is even with the floor. So yeah, so let's get working on that one too. One of the challenges with this this particular problem is that I want to be able to sweep the floor out, and as this stands right now with this here, what's going to happen is the dirt is actually going to go underneath this lip and fall down. It's actually, you're not going to be able to sweep it out. So my thought is, this is my initial thought, is what if I trim some of this black piece right here. I cut it off right around here. That will, if I do that, come on, now I'm stuck. in this vortex here. All right, if I do that, I think that would solve the problem. That would basically put the flooring I think that would solve it. Because then this would just sit down back where it was before. Right? I'm thinking out loud here. Thinking out loud. So I think if I trim this piece off right here, that would allow it to sit back down flush on the floor like it was before, and we'll be able to sweep dirt and dust out without it going underneath the lip of this. So yeah, let me see if that would work. Okay guys, I'm actually going to probably call it a day. It's 5:16, and just to recap what I actually got done today is I was able to get some of these window screens done. A total of 3. I did a total of 3, and they look good. Really like this little loop thing that we created to make it easy to pull them out. Then I also started working on and trimmed up this footwell, and actually made some pieces that will go into cover this area up here, and then also this hole over here. I made some pieces. They're drying right now, and probably tomorrow I'll be able to put those in. I probably still need to find a solution for this right here, whether it's just using this tape and putting it down here, or trying to find some type of actual piece that's supposed to bridge flooring. So I got that done, and also worked on this back area here. Was able to get this piece of plastic back down. I actually had to rip out some foam underneath here, a little couple inches, probably about an inch of foam, in order to get that back down. And then also need to, just like the other side, I need to find something to protect this edge right here. What I do like about this edge is that when we sweep, it just comes right out, and it's not going to get caught on anything, the dust. So yeah, I might just see what we can do. Maybe tape would help protect that edge, but still allow the dirt and dust to get taken out, broomed out. So, well, I feel like I got a good bit accomplished. And in spite of today being not what I thought it was going to be, I still feel like I was pretty productive. So anyways, I'm going to clean up, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, comments, feel free to post in the comment section, and like and subscribe. And I appreciate you guys, all your subscribers and all your feedback. It really helps a lot. All right, till the next time. See ya.